Welcome to our show. I'm very pleased to have a very special guest on here with us here, Assemblywoman Annette Quijano from the 20th District in Union County. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, she chairs the Assembly Homeland Security and State Preparedness Committee, and certainly has a lot of different responsibilities there. Maybe we could talk a little bit about that. But just when you think about it from the standpoint of the state of New Jersey, when it comes to safety, when it comes to security within New Jersey, a lot of citizens appreciate the different initiatives that you've been part of. And I thought maybe to start us off, could you give us a little background about yourself and some of the things that you've done?
Well, I'm relatively new to the Assembly. I entered in 2008 and on a vacancy.
Okay.
And most people don't realize before I crossed the hall to the Assembly, I was actually an assistant governor's counsel for 3 Democratic governors.
Beautiful.
McGreevey, Cody, and Corzine. So I did work on legislation, but from the perspective of the governor. And assistant governor's councils would provide memos. We would research the issues and suggest to the governor either to sign a bill, to veto a bill, or to conditionally veto a bill. You know, in our time, it was calling up and hanging up. That was the full extent of it. But now it's gotten so dangerous that they're calling in SWAT teams and police as a hoax. And I've learned about spoofing, so I'm starting to learn a whole new vocabulary. And so I looked on spoofing that you can actually sign on to a service where you would provide a number that would show up on caller ID. So people can't even rely on the name and number that's showing up on caller ID anymore. And so the young adults are covering where they're calling from, and they're calling in a hostage or other situation that escalates for the SWAT team and police to arrive. What we're concerned about is someone could get hurt. You know, there was someone that did have a heart attack in one of the incidences. Also, the SWAT team is prepared for a hostage or other situation. They're coming in ready. And the thing is, what I've told parents is this is not a game. There's no reset buttons. What happens in the real world has real life consequences. And the thing is, when you have the teenagers or the young adults calling into what they did at Clifton and giving the people inside instructions on where to go, which were different from what the police were saying, then you're escalating it even further that something may occur. Well, we're going to have a committee hearing on swatting soon.
Good.
We're trying to get everybody there to be able to testify. We'll be discussing a bill. There'll be jail time, and there'll be a discussion of fines. And the fine will include the total cost of the operation of law enforcement and the SWAT team.
When somebody finds out that they are a victim of a breach or think they are, why is it so important that they report it swiftly?
Well, you want to report it swiftly because you want to stop it right wherever it is. And I say that where it is because if it just happened, then you may be able to stop it from going further. And you may be able to stop anyone getting other records, your records. It's important to look at your credit report every year to see if there's a credit card that you did not request. But what I find, even before that, there are steps that people can take. One is shredding all of your credit card bills if you do not keep them. You should scan them into your own computer. You have to also check when you're throwing away documents, and I did it myself. I was getting rid of some old college papers, and it wasn't until I really looked at it that I realized my Social Security number was on it. So Social Security numbers are on everything, and so I shredded that. Anything, the credit card, pre-approved credit cards, I shred all of them to make sure that no one gets that information. Because it's really easy if someone got that information to add a different address. And voila, they have you, it's pre-approved, and they have a statement and a new credit card going to their home instead of yours. You are in control. Do not give out information to anyone that calls you. You can hang up the phone and call the company yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's occurred to me too. I've had information, I was questioned on the phone, and I said, well, thank you very much. I will be calling the company tomorrow. Okay. And then I know I'm in control. I'm calling the number I know that's associated with that credit card.
You've done a lot. You've been instrumental in many areas of distracted driving. Maybe tell us a little bit about that, if you may.
Well, there was a bill that started in Elizabeth when a woman who was going to the grocery store across the street got run over and died. And then we heard other stories, and then a couple came to see me, and I was asked to meet them on the first floor, that they could not meet me on my second floor office. And I really didn't know why, and when they walked in, they looked fine to me. It wasn't until they start telling me their story that I start getting goosebumps, and then they pulled up their jeans and they showed me that each of them lost part of their leg because someone was on the GPS, which was in their phone, and was driving and hit them. And the last one, which is the most heartbreaking, they're all heartbreaking, but it was the Bolus family. Tony Bolus was pregnant, and she was due to give birth to her child within 48 hours. Was injured because someone was talking and texting while driving. And the thing is, she died, and so did her baby. And so there is no phone call that is that important to kill someone. People have the opportunity to pull over or call back. It really is that simple. And so I did a bill, it's called the Coolidge-Kubert-Bolus law. Nice. It was A-1074. It was signed into law by the lieutenant governor. And what it does is it establishes a violation of cell phone law as reckless under the vehicular homicide and assault by auto statutes. A lot of people thought that was just too rigid. No, too harsh. Okay. But when you think of vehicular homicide, you're killing someone. When you think of assault by auto, you have permanently maimed someone just so you could answer a phone call.
That's crazy, right?
And so I was happy that both houses did vote for this bill, and I was pleased to be able to tell the families that the deaths of their loved ones were going to help others not have that same result.
Wow, that's nice. Not easy stuff. When you think about what you're doing and helping to enact some of these laws, do you see an impact? Do you see people, when they learn about what's being done and the work behind the scenes to make this happen, are they thinking twice before picking up the phone or texting?
Well, most people, I don't believe, actually think that you can kill someone. But you're driving a car, which is hundreds of pounds, and you're driving it sometimes fast. Even if you're driving it slow, if you're not paying attention, if your foot can't hit that brake fast enough, that you are going to injure someone. And so the thing is, yes, I think when we share these stories of people who died because someone picked up a phone or text, people realize that it is a dangerous practice. But it's an epidemic. Okay. As of July 1st of 2014, a new law became effective. We increased the penalties for talking or texting while you're driving. And so before, the $100 cost was not high enough to change behavior. But we're looking at some change behavior with the cost of, now the new cost, the first offense is $200 to $400, so it more than doubled. Yeah. Second offense, $400 to $600. And third is $600 to $800 with a possible suspension of your driver's license and possible motor vehicle points. Another component of the increased penalties for talking or texting while driving is that 50% of the fines will be sent to the state for an educational program, which is so important so people really to understand the dangers of talking and texting while driving.
Wow, that's good. Raising awareness like that and educating people will make a difference. That's great. Thanks. Well, maybe just in closing, is there anything that you wanted to share with us? Feel free to.
Well, as Chair of Homeland Security and State Preparedness, we have to keep ahead of technology. And, the issues of cybersecurity, the distracted driving, and swatting are just a few of the issues.
And, Assemblywoman, we want to thank you for having you on the show. Great insight here, and it's wonderful to see you doing so many things right here in the state of New Jersey. Appreciate you having you on.
Thank you very much.